All right, so I'm gonna do a little frequently asked questions because I get a ton of messages in my Facebook inbox and my Instagram inbox and in the comments and stuff about people asking about like teaching abroad because now I have had experience with two of them, kind of. So I don't have any of these written down, but I get asked them so much, so I'm pretty sure I'll remember them all. Okay, so the first one is how do you do it? How do you get started? I would personally recommend going through a recruiter. For Korea, I went through Canadian Connections. Super reliable, really good company, and I worked pretty closely with Shane, the owner, as well as Megan Corliss, who taught abroad as well. Both incredibly sweet people. I met them in person when I took a TEFL in-person class in Canada. I went to Canada to meet them and stuff. Super sweet, very helpful. So if you're looking to go into Korea, then I would say go through them. However, if you're trying to go anywhere else, like for my China position, I went through Teach ESL Korea, but they're also Teach ESL China. That's run by a man named Dan Henriksen, and he is also super, super, super polite, and like the process was so quick. Immediately after I applied, I got an interview, and like legitimately an hour after my interview, I was told I got the job. So like really quick, really responsive, really kind. They're really great. If you're looking to go to somewhere else, like any of the European nations or Taiwan, China, Korea, Russia even, then there are two others that I know of that are good, Aclipse and Reach to Teach. Yes. So they recruit for everywhere. I've never worked with them, but I did look through their websites when I was thinking about applying. So definitely keep those on your mind if you're trying to go somewhere else. But I think if you're looking for China, specifically go through Teach ESL China, Teach ESL Korea, because it's just really, really quick. Okay, so question number 2. Turning in documents. How do you actually get the job after you found a recruiter and everything? Okay, so the requirements for pretty much every teaching position around the world is you have to have a bachelor's degree. Your bachelor's degree can be in anything. Mine was in biology and wildlife conservation, so literally anything. Korea requires you to have a TESOL or TEFL certificate, 100 hours of online, and then 20 hours in person. China, some jobs require you to have it, but not all of them. And then other countries don't require it. Japan does require it, though. Japan does. Oh, and for Japan, if you want to go to Japan, use the JET program. They have the best benefits and the best contracts. So, Then you'll have to submit a ton of documents, and the documents are actually kind of stressful. The application is long, but not hard. Then you have to get a medical check. You have to get a background check. The background check, if you're American, takes forever. It takes freaking many moons. So you have to get your fingerprints, and then you have to go and send the fingerprints in to the federal government. And then about 15 weeks later, they send you a background check that is apostilled. No, it's notarized. Then you have to get it apostilled, which takes another few weeks. Ugh. And you also have to get your diploma notarized and apostilled, which takes time. You have to get your official transcripts from your university. What else do you have to do? What else? And you have to write a lesson plan. You have to create a lesson plan to submit to the company that you're applying for. So if you're going through Epic for Korea, for instance, you have to give them a lesson plan. And then you have to come up with your teacher, I don't even know what it's called now. Oops. Oh my God, what is it called? You're teaching perspective, teaching that thing. What is your teaching thing? How's your teaching style? And if you have no experience teaching, Google that shit. Google that shit and then reword it. Just saying. Not that I would do that, because I didn't, okay? I took a class that told me what to say, okay? Yeah. The next question I get a lot. What are the hours like? Well, okay. Every country is different. So I'm going to go through all of them that I know. Korea. If you're going through a contract like JLP, which is Jeollonando Language Program, EPIC, GEPIC, SMOE, yeah, those are the 4. There might be more. I don't know. But if you're going through those 4, the contract is no more than 22 hours a week. You have to work 40 hours a week, though. So you're on your desk for 40 hours a week, but then you're teaching 22. 22 is a shit ton. I'm not going to lie. But if you're at a Hagwon in Korea, you work upwards of 40 classes a week. 40 guys. And then your hours in the office are upwards of 60 hours a week. Hagwons are... all of my friends that have worked in Hagwons have had terrible experiences because of the crazy working hours and just being generally ripped off. I follow a Facebook group called the Legal Offices of Foreign Teachers in Korea. And it's just people like posting like what are the legal things I should do? What should I do? They're telling me to sign this. They're telling me that I have to leave a little early, blah, 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 just so that the school can rip them off. And so I would not recommend a Hagwon unless you're going through Canadian Connections or teaching. I don't know about that. If you're going through Canadian Connections and they set you up with a Hagwon, that Hagwon will be on contract, and it'll probably be through JLP or EPIC. So it'll still be on a contract. But if you do not have a contract through one of those big companies, then you are on the Hagwon contract, which is always very... I'm skeptical of all Hagwons because one of my friends is working 10 classes a day, and that's absolutely ridiculous and disgusting. And, in a public school, you work about 5 classes a day, so you are a literal teacher. You do not have breaks. Some people get very lucky and they have tons of breaks and they don't teach 22 hours a week. I was very unfortunate and I have to teach all 22 hours a week. On Mondays, I teach 6 classes back to back. And then I teach 5, 4, 3. Yeah. And it's terrible. Honestly, it's a lot of work, and you have to plan a lot. Given it does depend on your school. If you got a really, really good school, then, or if you got like a really, really good school and they have a set curriculum that they want you to follow, then it's a lot easier. I teach at 2 schools. One of my schools is really, really good. Like she tells me exactly what she wants me to do per week. And I send her my plan, and then she approves it, and it runs really smoothly. She's a really good co-teacher. And then at my other school, they don't tell me anything. They don't tell me the chapters they're on. They don't tell me anything. And then they get frustrated with me if I do something wrong. And I'm like, well, then communicate with me. Like, I am not a teacher. I'm supposed to be an assistant teacher. Okay, sorry, I'm complaining. I shouldn't be complaining during a question and answer video. So, yeah, so that might happen. Expect the worst or prepare for the worst, but hope for the best, and I hope that you get a good one as well. Yeah, so the next question is, what is the pay? That depends on where you are. So in Korea, if you're with EPIC, you get paid up to $2,500 American dollars. It's usually from 1.8 million Korean won for basic, which is about $1,800. Then it moves up to 2,500 or 2.5 million if you've been there for like 5 years. With JLP, it starts at 2 million, then it goes to 2.1, then it goes to 2.3, then it goes to 2.5. I am at 2.3 because of my credentials, which is a TEFL and a degree. Yeah, I guess that's it. So if you have a TEFL, then you're going to get 2.3 million, which is really good. You get a free apartment. The utilities, like I just got my electricity bill, and I used electricity a ton this month or last month because it was freezing and I had to heat my house. My bill was the equivalent of 13 American dollars. So basically your $2,000 a month goes straight to that pocket, or straight to your tummy if you're like me and you only buy food. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to say. In China, the hours are different. If you're working in China, you work no more than 20 hours a week, but the average is 15. So that is why I am logically choosing China for next year. Yes. And then in Japan, the hours are the same as Korea. And in Taiwan, the hours are more like China. Yeah. And then the pay is pretty much the same all across the board. China, I think it's a little less, but the benefits are better. That gets me to my next question. What are the benefits? So the benefits. Okay, so if you're working with JLP in Korea, which is what I'm with, you get 24 paid vacation days and 8 paid summer vacation days, plus all national holidays and May 1st, which is not a national holiday, but you get it because it's Labor Day. Yeah. You get a free apartment, and yeah, they pay for half your health insurance. And yeah, in China, the benefits are 2 months half paid vacation during the summer, so that's pretty cool. You also get a month in the winter paid, and your health insurance is covered, your apartment is covered. You also, oh gosh, they cover one other thing. What do they cover? Oh, and your flights. Your flights are covered to and from both places. All places. Yeah. China, oh my gosh, what do they do? Oh, they give you breakfast and lunch for free. Okay. In Korea, you do have to pay for lunch, but it's, I think, about like $2.50 to $3 a day. It's cheap, and at my school, it's kind of like buffet style, so I just take a shit ton of vegetables because I'm vegan, and then I get stared at weird, and it's a hassle. But it's only $3, so I'm not too upset. Yes. I'm not sure what Japan is. I know that the benefits are generally the same, like they pay for your flights, and they give you an apartment, and blah, 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 blah. Same with Taiwan, blah, blah, blah. I've heard only good things about Taiwan and China. Yes. Also, I also get asked a lot, like, what are the living situations like? And that is honestly dependent on where you're placed. Like, you could be placed in a city with 10,000 people. You could be placed in Seoul with 10 million. It all depends. I'm placed in a city, but there's 150,000 people here. It is the most polluted city in Korea. Not many foreigners. I think there's 6 in total in the whole city. Yes. But like other friends are in such rural towns that they have to take an hour bus just to get to a grocery store or a convenience store. So like it really depends. And then a ton of my friends are in like downtown central Seoul, so they have no money because yeah. Also though, if you are placed in a rural town, you get $100 extra a month. So there's that kind of incentive, I guess. And it does encourage you to travel more. I mean, I travel a lot regardless, even though my city isn't that bad. I just don't like being here. And I'd rather like spend my weekend in other cities and see other things. Whereas if I was in Seoul, I don't think I would leave very often because there's so much. And I love Seoul. Oh my God. Yeah. How difficult? Another question. How difficult is it for vegans? In my city, fucking difficult. It's so hard. It is so hard. Some days I feel really, really weak because there's no protein. I will never stop being vegan. I will always value animals over my own life. I don't care. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But, yeah, like the only protein source here is tofu. If I was in Seoul, Busan, Mokpo, Gwangju, or any of the bigger cities, there are tons of vegan restaurants and they have fake meats and things like that. But here, I think they were out to get me when they placed me here. So if you're vegan or vegetarian and you're placed in a small city, be prepared to order a lot of vegan meats that are really expensive off of iHerb and Gmarket. What else am I asked? So I got through, cost of living. Cost of living. Okay, so my bills for the whole month, this month is the most expensive because of how cold it was. My total bill, so I pay 90,000 won a month for my phone bill, and that is, it's 60,000 for unlimited everything, and then I pay a $30 phone installment because I bought the Galaxy S7, so it will not blow up on me. It won't, I promise, I hope. Although I'm having a really bad time with fires. There have been 3 fires in my apartment in the past 2 days. That is my electric heater that burst into flames yesterday. Oh, and there's no smoke detector in my apartment. So there's that. I didn't even know it was on fire. I was like shaking and going crazy because I was like, what do I do? Not the business. What was I even talking about? Holy shit. Oh yeah, cost of living. Okay. So 90,000 a month for a phone. And then I pay, my electricity bill always is like $7, but this month it was $15. So I'll just tell you the most expensive for me. And then $8 for gas. So that's like $110, $110 for total. It depends on your electricity use and your gas use. I have friends that pay $80 a month for gas. I pay the lowest of everyone I know because I don't use my gas like ever. And I'm really good at saving electricity. My dad trained me well. And I unplug everything. But yeah, I have like a couple friends who pay $500 or more on heating their place. I'm like, just put on a jacket, cuddle up in a blanket, save some money. So it really depends on your spending. But I would say the lowest would be mine, unless you don't have a phone, in which case, think about $50. So I would say the lowest, $50 a month, highest, 600,000 won, 600. So 50 to 600, that is the range, Clearly a huge range, but it really is all based on you. Yeah. Also, I've noticed that everything is really messy. It's because I was working out. And then I was like, I'm going to make a video before I work out, actually. And here I am. Yeah. And then that needs to be thrown away. That is where I'm going to watch Fitness Blender. That's my stare at myself mirror. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. This is a really long video. Wow. Okay, so, other questions. Oh, food. Like, how much is food a month and stuff like that. For me, I buy food for the week and then I cook on Sunday. I cook like a big batch of food for Monday through Friday so that I don't have to cook any dinners when I get home. And that costs about $16 or $15 really. Yeah, so $2 to $3 a day for meals for me. In the morning, I have oatmeal and fruit, and then for lunch, I have the school lunch, and then for dinner, I have what I have, like what I made. Fruit is the most expensive. Vegetables are really cheap. Fruit is the most expensive. I did, though, find a bag of apples today. 6 apples for $2.50. Very, very, very cheap. I was at a grocery store the other day, and I saw a box of apples for $45. I thought it was a joke. Oh my God. And then berries are very, very expensive. Yeah, bananas are pretty expensive as well. But I mean, when bills are like as low as they are, I'd say it's kind of worth it. So I think in total, I spend, of my 2,100 that I get after everything's deducted, I spend about 500 a month. And that's for my bills and my food and my like traveling, because I travel every weekend on the bus, and also for like eating out. So 500 a month. Hey, my friends. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so not too bad, not too bad. I have saved thus far 7,500. Sorry, I had to like count in my head because like the conversion rate and shit. So yeah. So I have made though 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 10,000. So I've spent $3,000 in the past 4 months. Kind of a lot, but actually considering I did go to Japan twice and I'm going to Taiwan next week and I already have everything paid for. So that $3,000 that I've spent includes those 2 giant trips and all my trips everywhere else. So really, really cheap. Really cheap. Yeah. And if you guys have any other questions, seriously, feel free to ask me because I love talking to people and I am friends with everything that breathes. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, ask me anything, guys. My Instagram is Megan the Vegan with 3 E's, just like my YouTube guy. If you want to look at my travel photos, ask me questions on there, anything. My Facebook name is Megan Weidel, and my WordPress blog is meganthevegan.wordpress.com. So Megan the Vegan everywhere. Yes. Find me, follow me, ask me questions. I don't care. And yeah, I hope to talk to you and see you guys sometime in the future with our travels. Bye!